Hey guys, I'm back with the story What If Goku Was Trapped in the Time Chamber and Became the Supreme Creator Part 2. Please like, comment and subscribe for more, thanks. We pick up the story with Goku, who was just beginning to wake up. After being transported to another dimension, Goku got up and shook his head and said to no one, "Where am I?" "You are in the forgotten and forbidden dimension." Child Goku turns around and sees 5 figures standing behind him. They walk from out of the shadows into the light, and Goku gets a better look at them. The first man he sees is a tan man wearing some type of ancient armor that he has never seen before. A black tail wrapped around his waist with yellow eyes. He was also quite tall and muscular. The man steps forward and says, "My name is Yamashi, the first of the 5 great lords, and the first ever Saiyan in all existence, and also the strongest to ever exist in all existence." Goku stood in shock before. Another man stepped forward. He had reddish skin and black horns with red and black eyes, and wore all black clothing. "I am Hades, the Demon Lord, and the second of the 5 great lords." Another man stepped forward. He had green skin and was similar to Piccolo. "I am Tori, the third of the 5 great lords, and the first ever Namekian in all existence, and also the strongest to ever exist." Another man stepped out. He was similar to an angel. He had blue skin and long white hair and a huge halo that was crystal white and 10 times bigger than any other angel that floated behind him. His presence radiated pure power. The man then began to speak. "I am Murno, the first ever angel to ever exist, and the strongest of my kind, and the fourth of the 5 great lords." Goku looked at the last figure to come forward. It was a white dragon, whiter than snow with golden eyes. The dragon began to speak. "I am Musa, the first ever dragon in all existence and the strongest of all dragons, and the 5th of the 5 great lords." Goku just stood in shook at what he just heard. He was brought out of his shock when Yamashi began to speak. "The reason we brought you here is because we want you to be our successor." Goku asked, "Who, me? But I don't really know that much about who you really are." The 5 great lords looked at each other and gave silent nods. Yamashi looked at Goku and said, "Take a seat, Goku. In order for you to understand, we must tell you about the far past before we got trapped in this dimension." Goku sat down, interested about their past. Yamashi, seeing Goku listening, began to speak. "This story take place 100 trillion years ago, before there were any Omni Kings and Creator Gods, before any gods of destruction and Kais, and you see back then in our time, it was 5 different worlds. The first was the Saiyan world, the second was the Demon world, the third was the Namekian world, the fourth was the Angels world, and the 5th was known as the Dragon's world." Goku the asked, "When you say world, do you mean planet?" The great lords chuckled. Hades is then said, "Let me break it down for you. Each world has at least 10 multiverses and 5 megaverses that in our time was controlled by a single race." "You get no?" Goku nods, saying, "I didn't think that it was more multiverses and megaverses and worlds." They all nod. And Yamashi says, "That's not all. Back in those times we were at war, which was called the 5 Great World War, where each race battled for more power and territory, and we proved to be the strongest and were hailed as gods among our race. We had reached power that was unattainable for other to achieve, but a certain incident occurred that led us to be here. It was a man in all gold armor with power out of this world who took us down and imprisoned us here, and since then we have been trapped, hoping that someone would come to this dimension. We can see what goes on outside, but can't leave here, and that is our story." Goku was baffled. He never knew about such history and that such powerful beings existed. Goku then asked excitedly, "So are you guys going to train me?" "Yes, we will," responded Murno, "but we will train you one at a time. It will take some time for you to master all of our power." Goku jumped with joy and said, "Okay, let's start now." Excitedly, Yamashi calmed him down, saying, "I will be the first to train you, but come forward." Goku stepped in front of the Saiyan. Yamashi then put his hand on Goku's head and said, "I unlock all your Saiyan potential." His hand glowed a yellowish orange before fading away. Goku's felt as if all his ceiling were unlocked. "What all did you do?" asked a curious Goku. Yamashi smiled and asked Goku, "How many levels of Super Saiyan you think there are?" Goku puts a hand on his chin, saying, "The farthest I have ever got was Super Saiyan 3. I felt that was as far as Super Saiyan went." All of the great lord chuckled at this. Goku then said, "What's funny? Am I wrong indeed?" responds Yamashi. "In truth, there are 20 levels of Super Saiyan, and I am the only one to have reached the last level." Goku is blown away by what he had just heard. "Please train me," begged Goku with stars in his eyes. "All right, but I must warn you, this training will be like nothing you have experienced before." Goku accepts the challenge with a smile. "Oh, and lastly, there is another tournament of power that will take place in a couple of months, but this time it will be with other multiverses, so I will make a day on your planet Earth be a trillion years in here, and don't worry, you will be fine. Your Already immortal Goku nods and they prepare to begin Goku's training. We skip to Universe 11. We had Jiren meditating in a far away, trying to further increase his power. He was recently informed about the new tournament of power, and he was going to train every day to break his limits so he could have his rematch. Universe was 11 was surprised about there being other multiverses. Note the contestants that will be competing are Goku, Broly, Vegeta, Gohan, Kaba, Kale, Caulifla, Jiren, Toppo. And hit end of note. Fast forward 1 month and we moved to Beerus plant where we could see a Broly who had fully mastered his legendary Super Saiyan without losing control. Whis had recommended a lot of meditation because his mental state wasn't strong due to how his father raised him with Vegeta. He had fully mastered his Super Saiyan Blue evolution, and now he was training to master a new transformation. The Hakatian god of destruction power he has only mastered 10% and could not hold the form for more than 2 minutes. With Gohan he had achieved a new transformation, he called it Beast Gohan. In this transformation he gained monstrous power. His eyes turned red, his hair grew tall and spiky, and his aura turned bluish purple, and he had reddish pink lighting around him. But just like Vegeta, he didn't master this form yet and still had a way to go. We skipped to Universe 6 where we could see Kale in her mastered legendary Super Saiyan, and Caulifla had trained hard and achieved Super Saiyan 3 and unlocked Super Saiyan God. She decided to train in mastering Super Saiyan God because Super Saiyan 3 consumed too much energy, while Kaba had also achieved Super Saiyan God and had it mastered it at 40%. Back with Goku in the dimension with the Great Lords, he was sparring with Yamashi. It had been 30 trillion years and he was noticeably different. He was lean and muscular and he also had his tail again, but instead of it being brown it was black. Yamashi ended the sparring and told Goku his training with him is over and that he taught him all he knows. I will tell you Goku's current power level in his base form. He is already stronger than the Xeno-sama. And he has all Super Saiyan forms from 1 to 20 and has mastered Primal Power. Primal Power is only achieved when a Saiyan reaches the last level and masters it along with all other transformation. It multiplies the person's current base form by 1,000,000, making the transformations even stronger. Note no other Saiyan can go beyond Super Saiyan 4 because Yamashi told him how. In the past how some Saiyans when achieving such power became arrogant and tried to revolt against him, so he made a sealed the true potential of the Saiyans away through the bloodline so that no other Saiyan without his blessing could go beyond Super Saiyan 4. End of note. Goku was sitting down, thinking about how strong he has become and about the tournament of power. He had become serious and very intelligent over the past trillion years. Yamashi didn't just improve him physically, but mentally as well. Murno approached Goku while he was sitting down and said, I will be training you in divine power and also on how to combine your Saiyan transformations with your divine ones. I will also show you how to combine and mix divine power as well and show you the true level of Ultra Instinct. So another 30 trillion years would go by and we could see Goku in a form known as Supreme Instinct. His hair was a golden color along with his aura. It was next level from Ultra Instinct. He also learned some ancient angel techniques that you will see him use in the future. He had learned all kinds of divine power that you all will see him use later on, but for now I'll keep them hid. We skip outside of the dimension. It had been 2 months since Goku had been trapped in that dimension. Vegeta had mastered his Hakatian form and Goku had mastered his beast form. Broly had finished mastering his Super Saiyan God form and now was ready for Blue. In Universe 6 Kaba and Caulifla had already mastered Super Saiyan God and was 50% in mastering Super Saiyan Blue, and Kale had just mastered Super Saiyan God with Jiren and Toppo. In Universe 11 Toppo fully mastered his destroyer form and Jiren had achieved and mastered Ultra Instinct and was still searching for more power. Alright guys, that's all for part 2. Please like, comment and subscribe and comment some things you might want me to add in the story. Thanks.